Hi everyone, Melissa with The Creative Season here. We're going to do something a little different for the rest of August. I'm going through a bit of a transition period with the YouTube channel as I prepare for the next season. This seemed like a good opportunity to share some pieces from one of my favorite devotionals. I'll still be painting, but instead of talking about what I'm painting in the process, I'm going to share some of the devotions from the classic Streams in the Desert and a few thoughts I have about it. If you're not familiar with this devotional, here's a little bit of a background. It was published in 1925 by Mrs. Lettie B. Cowman, and my understanding is that she compiled it to encourage herself through a difficult season. She compiled Bible verses, snippets of sermons, poems, and her own writings and reflections on the faithfulness of God in the middle of suffering. Streams in the Desert inspires courage to trust and love God, continue forward in faith, and keep doing good no matter the struggles of life. I received a copy from my grandmother when I was maybe 10 or 11 years old. It wasn't a first edition. I think it was published in the 50s or 60s. Eventually, it fell apart. One of my dearest friends, Chrislyn, knew how much I loved it, and she gifted me a copy a few years ago in the updated version. I'll be reading out of the 1925 version. Just so you know, Jim Ryman updated Streams of the Desert in 1997. He updated the language to more modern English and changed the scripture passages from King James Version to the NIV, New International Version. I didn't want to infringe on any copyright issues, so I'm going to read out of the original 1925 material. That's what I originally read it in, and I think that language is really beautiful. In the future weeks, you'll probably see a lot more clouds and skies and mountains in the paintings. Mrs. Cowman used many images in nature to show examples of her own journey and our journey. For today, I'm painting a beautiful rose, symbolizing what this book has meant to me over the years, a rich source of beauty and joy and encouragement in the middle of life's pruning and storms and all sorts of disasters. So here we go. We're going to read from Streams in the Desert. This is August 9th. And the Bible verse is from Psalm 84, verses 5 and 6. Blessed is the man whose strength is in thee, who passing through the valley of weeping, make it a well. Comfort does not come to the lighthearted and merry. We must go down into the depths if we would experience this most precious of God's gifts, comfort, and thus be prepared to be co-workers together with Him. When night, needful night, gathers over the garden of our souls, when the leaves close up and the flowers no longer hold any sunlight within their folded petals, there shall never be wanting, even in the thickest darkness, drops of heavenly dew, dew which falls only when the sun has gone. And then here's a poem that goes with it. I have been through the valley of weeping, the valley of sorrow and pain, but the God of all comfort was with me, at hand to uphold and sustain. As the earth needs the clouds and sunshine, our souls need both sorrow and joy. So He places us oft in the furnace, that draws from the gold to destroy. When He leads through some valley of trouble, His omnipotent hand we trace. For the trials and sorrows He sends us are part of His lessons and grace. Oft we shrink from the purging and pruning, forgetting the husbandman knows that the deeper the cutting and paring, the richer the cluster that grows. Well, He knows that affliction is needed. He has a wise purpose in view, and in the dark valley He whispers, hereafter thou wilt know what I do. As we travel through life's shadowed valley, fresh springs of His love ever rise, and we learn that our sorrows and losses are blessings just sent in disguise. So we'll follow wherever He leadeth. Let the path be dreary or bright, for we've proved that our God can give comfort. Our God can give songs in the night. And that is today's devotional. I think it is a reminder that there's always a bigger story in the difficult seasons of our lives, and that bad things are not necessarily part of God's will. He does no bad intentions, but He can use everything and turn it around for His glory and for our good. I really love the part 2 where He, with that reminder of the very end of the poem where He says, and we learn that our sorrows and losses are blessings just sent in disguise. So we'll follow wherever He leadeth. Let the path be dreary or bright. For we prove that our God can give comfort, our God can give songs in the night. I think as you continue to walk with the Lord and you look back over your life, that certainly rings true. And it's so good just to remember those times where he absolutely brought comfort in really difficult seasons. So I hope this encourages you. You can find these devotionals online. You can just Google Streams of the Desert, August 9th or whatnot, and they will pop up. So have a wonderful week and enjoy the rest of the painting. There's a few more minutes, and I'm going to see you back here next week.